巡り巡る星の輪に僕の未来願いすべて託す夢の途切れ間に揺らいだ朝焼け消えたわけじゃない輝き見据えて熱を持つ体抱えて走れば昨日までのよどんだ目にさよなら立ち向かう勇気などなくても迎え撃つ覚悟を僕がなんだってなんだってそれでいいじゃないか僕らは巡り巡る星の輪に僕の未来願いすべて託す
Hey. I completely forgot to post the schedule, which I just. Oh! you broke my camera! You didn't throw the photo at me, you threw it at my freaking camera. Welcome in. Hello! Hello! My camera like broke, and I was like, bro. I literally just posted the schedule, so if you guys got the double ping, sorry. And if you guys didn't get a ping at all, and you're wondering, well, why am I not getting any pings? It's because you gotta go to the roles channel in the Discord. I can link that right now, because I have the Discord open. I just gotta figure out how to turn on all my channels. If you go to the roles, you could grab the... Here you go, copy link. No schedule? No, the schedule's up now. I promise. It's a little late, but it's up now. Oh! Wait for it. There we go. That took a second. I was like, oh god, did it break? Claim Discord. Why do I have to capitalize everything? Claim Discord roles here. There you go. So if you didn't know, because maybe you didn't, we have roles in the Discord. If you're a streamer, there's a role for streamers. If you want to be pinged when we go live on Discord instead of just Twitch, there is a role for that, and I have not actually been using it when I should be, so I'm going to be using it from now on every Saturday. I kind of forgot about it, but now I'm looking at it. And then the biggest one is there's an announcement for whenever there is something important to announce. So if you guys haven't been getting any of the announcement pings, it's over there. If you want to get small little pings. Sorry, I'm moving my camera a little bit because it, well, like I said, it just got broken a little bit earlier, and I'm like, oh no. There we go though. They also have class roles. I've been considering changing the class roles though. They used to be, okay, so Discord used to not have the ability to turn on and off channels, which if you don't know, you can turn off and on off channels. Maybe we could talk about that another day. I made that like an announcement a while back, but, you know, there are new people. But back in the day when you were not able to turn on and off channels, we used to do it via roles. So you would collect a role, let's say you're really good at cooking and you really like to make music, but you don't care about the other classes, right? You don't really care about art, you don't care about writing and stuff. You were able to turn on the classes you wanted to see and turn off the ones you didn't want to see. Which you can do now, but you could do it manually through Discord. You don't need the roles anymore. So I've been considering getting rid of the class roles and exchanging it for more, like, adjective description roles, maybe? Like, I can still have, you know, if you're a chef or a cook, if you're a writer, but instead of, like, literature class as the role, it would be writer is the role, which describes you as a person rather than the role for, accessing the channel, right? So I've been considering changing those. In fact, it wouldn't be hard to change the current class roles to them, but then including some other roles, like, I have to think about it, like, dancer, I don't know, just randomly off the top of my head, probably not gonna add that, but just examples. More description roles rather than, like, class roles. So expect that in the future, maybe sometime this next quarter, which I just realized that this quarter's almost done. June is almost done. Hi, Jeannie. Yeah, there's literally 1 week left of June. And as a reminder, I am currently going to be drinking more Rogue Energy. I mixed it differently this time. I put a lot less powder than I did last time because I put way too much last time. I was kind of dumb. 16 ounces, so let's see how it tastes this time. Hopefully it's not too overpowering. Oh my gosh. It is actually I hate to say it like this. It's my own fault. It's my own fault. But it's actually, like, drinkable. Yesterday, I could drink it, but it was so strong yesterday, because I basically what I did was I took the scooper for the Rogue Energy, and I scooped the whole thing up, and instead of leveling off the mound that you know, when you scoop, like, a thing, there's, like, a lot of excess on top of it that you're supposed to level off. I didn't do that, so basically I put, if not 2 scoops, at least a scoop and a half instead of 1 scoop. It was so strong. I was like, oh gosh. Today I definitely leveled it, so it is drinkable. It is not strong at all, which is great. I feel like, oh my gosh. Yesterday it was really, really, oh man. Thank you for the hydrate. Hydrate right now. But that whole tangent aside, thank you so much. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, Mikey. And I saw Maestro a little earlier. Sick Ripper, I hope you have a great grocery shop. Go get some goodies. Especially because of the heat wave has passed, thank goodness. But I'm sure it'll still be hot this summer. Reko, are you glad that I kept at least a crack in there? I know we changed things around, but there's still a technical crack in there. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I'm still going to be editing it. Whenever I get the chance here and there, I'm still going to edit it a little bit, just to add a couple other things for funsies. Like what I did with my first opening. I don't know if you guys saw, but my first opening was actually different from the very first time I aired my first opening to the very last time I aired my first opening. It changed a lot. So I'll be doing that a little bit, but I'm not going to tell you guys. It's going to be a little secret, so hopefully you guys will be able to catch it every now and then when I change things. Let me get some my references open. There we go. We finished the one. You remember how we were working for a while on Makari's zoom in of the eyeball animation? We finished that. So now we have the next and final animation to do, which is very interesting for me, only because I've never really drawn like a fighting thing. I sketched it out. I think you guys have seen the sketch itself, but it's got a lot of work on it. So that's what we're going to be working on for the next while we're working on Makari's. I'm excited for it though. Eventually I want to actually like learn all these things and level up, but right now I can only experiment on it unless I can find like a really cool tutorial guide on it. That would be cool too. Hi Gray, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Hi Panther girl. Thank you for the head pads. Wow. Oh, there's a Pokemon. No, I'm probably gonna miss it. Cause oh, I think I got it. Never mind. Oh. But that is the up-to-dates this week. Actually, this morning, at the very start of stream, I wanted to add a new command called VSS, VTuber SummerSlam. I don't have it yet, as you can see. But I wanted to add that because we have our VTuber SummerSlam this week. I wanted to add it with information about the donation. So if you don't know what VTuber SummerSlam is, I'll definitely explain it more on our first day of VTuber SummerSlam. Like, I'll have more in-depth things to say about it. But essentially, we did it last year. We are raising money for kids in hospitals. We are going to be raising money for kids in hospitals. Let's start adding the command. Oh, I got to get the Tiltify. It's through Tiltify, so it's a trusted source. If you guys don't know Tiltify, it's basically a big website that partners with things like Twitch, for example, and a lot of charity streams, which basically it's a secure way to know that your money donations are going towards the actual cause and not into my PayPal. Because back in the day, before Tiltify was a thing, people would, and still, some people still do because some charities are not on Tiltify, but people would collect it via their PayPal, and then they would have to go through their PayPal to send it to the charity, which is fine. For the most part, like, I want to say 80 to 90% of the time, they actually gave the donations. They didn't lie about it. Some people have lied. Be careful when you donate, I'm just saying. But even though they sent it to the charities, PayPal, of course, had to take their cut. So PayPal would take, like, 20% of the cut so if you guys donated, what, 100, they would take 20 bucks from that. PayPal. So then only 80 would get donated to charity. That's how it kind of sucks. So I'm really glad Tiltify became a thing. It was many years ago it became a thing, but I'm glad it's a thing. So it's all through Tiltify, so, you know, trusted source. I'm gonna take another drink. I don't think I've been drinking anything today, so I'm, like, super dehydrated. Oops. Playing basketball, heck yeah. Let's go. That sounds like fun. I love basketball. I'm not super good at it, but I like it a lot better than soccer. I like it better than football. Football's probably one of my least favorite of the main sports. It's probably my least favorite because I can't throw a football. I know people have tried to tell me so many times, and I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, I'm bad. But basketball's fun. Yeah. Good morning, City of Burrito. We're gonna set up this VTuber SummerSlam command. Here we go. So commands, add VTuber SummerSlam, and it's gonna say, join us in helping raise money for kids in hospitals. I can spell. Powered by Gamers Outreach. I hope I spelled that right. I did. Powered by Gamers Outreach. Donation link is here. That's a long link. Ugh. I'm gonna add one little emote in there. Let's see. Soccer is fun. I like soccer, but I think I just like basketball more because I'm able to do more with basketball because, you know, you dribble the ball with your arms and your hands and stuff, and then you're running around with your legs. With soccer, it's basketball essentially, but but you're doing everything with your legs, and I'm not super coordinated with my legs. I like doing being able to have the option to do both. It's nice. It's nice. All right, let me know what you guys think of this command. I hope that did not break up the little emote I put in there. All right, I think... Wait, hold on, let me try it. I think that looks good. Heck yeah. All right, so that's set up. Do I need any... Do you guys want... Does anyone here use... Hold on, let me explain it like this. Whenever you go into a charity, right? And people are doing charities with... Well, my hands aren't working. What happened to my hands? Hello? Were my hands working at all today? Oh, I think I might have messed up my stuff earlier this week. Oh, what was I saying? Sorry, ignore me. I'm like, my hands, it bothers me. When you go into charities, does anyone actually do like exclamation point goals and exclamation point incentives to see the goals and incentives? I know normally I write them. Maybe this is just me speaking out of laziness, which I just gotta not be lazy to type it up. But does anyone actually like use those commands, or? I guess I did post it on Twitter if I wanted to use the link for that as well. I just gotta not be lazy. Why am I always so lazy? Okay, let me unplug my hands and plug them back in. Oh, speaking of not being lazy though, I completely cleaned my room. Okay. I completely vacuumed my room. I still have to wipe down the counters. Wait. So I'm plugging in my hands. I still have to wipe down the counters. I still have to organize things. Like, there's, like, items everywhere that need to go where they need to go. Oh, there's my hands. Okay. There's a lot of items that need to go where they need to go. But I did finally vacuum my room, so that's good. I've been wanting to vacuum for a while now, and I don't know why I would keep pushing it off. Sometimes I'm like, man, this could really use a vacuuming. And then I just sit here and I do work instead. Oh, speaking of work, let me tell you, thank you, Bunny. Actually, I meant to send Bunny a message. And to Techno for introducing me. It's not like I didn't know, and it's not like, you know, it seems so obvious, but in my head, I didn't really think about it, if that makes sense. In terms of utilizing the idea of... Come on, Spelly, what's the word for it? Hi, Miso. What's the word for spacing out all your stuff? Pacing! Pacing my work instead of trying to do it all head on. I wanted to send Bunny... First, I want to send Bunny a thank you message. Thank you again for showing me how to pace. And then I wanted to ask him a question. My work. I have a... No, wait. I heard my name. Yeah, because you were also there when we were talking about pacing work and you were explaining about it and stuff in terms of your writing. And I wanted to thank you and Bunny, because I did yesterday. I spent the whole day writing a big to-do list for the next, like, 2 months. Trying to complete all the stuff that I have. And I wanted to ask a question, and I'm trying to remember what the question was now. When you finish your work early, and you know you have more to do on stuff throughout the week, do you normally... Sorry, I'm typing this while I'm saying it. Work ahead and get more done in that day, or leave it be and do it the day you planned to do it? Sorry, that was a really weird way, like I was saying it while I was typing it, so... But yeah, the question stands, if you're pacing yourself, my assumption is the latter, right? Because you're pacing yourself, but if you have a lot to do, and you finish your work early one day... So, for example, I actually finished all my work today, other than stream, which we're here. But, which means after stream, I don't have any work to do. I could just relax for the rest of the night, which is not a bad idea. But normally, if you finish your work early, but you know you have more to do throughout the week, do you then work on some of the stuff so you can get it out of the way, the stuff that you had planned to do later in the week? Or is that it? You just, okay, that's it, I'm gonna put it down, I'm gonna work on it, because I planned out, again, I did a big to-do list yesterday. I planned out everything within the next 2 months. I know exactly when I'm supposed to finish things, which is great because I'm on schedule, basically. All my deadlines are on schedule. But yeah, do you normally continue working, or not even continue, but do you then knock out some to-do list things for the rest of the week? Or do you say, okay, no, relax for the night, take a break, and you'll get back to it? Because again, the big point about this is to stay on task, stay on schedule, and not avoid burnout. what did I say? Avoid burnout. So I don't want to burn out either, but I'm pretty good when it comes to burnout. I feel the symptoms sometimes, but then I'm like, nah, I'm good though. So I'm okay when it comes to that, but those are like the main reasons I would like to pace myself. Hi, Simon. We're talking about scheduling and pacing and how to not burn out when you have a lot of work to do. It depends. If I had been underperforming, I might push out a little extra. But if I've been overperforming, I'll take a creative break. What do you define as a creative break, Techno? I always get crap out of the way if I can. See, I've been doing that, Man Bear, and I've been so overwhelmed with all the stuff I have to do because I've been doing that I've been doing nothing. Like, I have 5 animations that I have to do, right? And I'll look at that as a whole, and I'll be like, okay, I did what I wanted to do today, and there is more that I have to do, like, obviously a lot more because I have a lot of projects, but then I'm like, I'm tired. I no longer want to work. And then I stop doing the things that I need to do. I'll get distracted. I'll work on other things that are completely unrelated to the things I know I have to do, like my job. Like, I'll work on stream-related stuff instead of commission-related stuff. Basically, classic procrastination, right? And it's because I'm so overwhelmed with all the stuff I need to do that I'm like, then I feel even worse when I don't do it. Thank you for the hydrate. I was holding my drink the whole time. I'm like, I really want to drink this, but I'm talking. Oh, let me drink it. Much good, very well. This is actually so delicious because I didn't overpowder it like a dum-dum. I know, okay, look, I know I'm partnered with Rogue Energy, but let me tell you, if you actually follow the directions and you put the correct amount of stuff in the drink, it actually tastes good. I feel so dumb. I was like yesterday, yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, I put too much in here. Ah! But it was literally my bad. My bad. Oh man. Oh no. Oh, I see. Yeah. It's 200. If you guys want to know the limit, it's 200. I can still read it, but it's mostly for whenever I'm working. You guys know what I mean. It's whenever I'm working, and then you have some people that come in and they type a whole book, but they don't let anyone else type. It'll be like, they'll type at one after another, and I'll be like, no one else says anything else, and I'm like, I gotta read all this, and I'm like, but I'm working. That's why that has been added. It's kind of new. It's only a bonk. It's not like anything else, so it's not bad. But yeah, 200 characters is the new max. Otherwise, I get too overwhelmed with how much is said in one sitting. Is the big takeaway from that. Is it weird saying this name? No, it actually feels so natural, Man Bear. It feels natural. How does one tell if they're overperforming? This is based off of my own experience, but if I have been working so hard, either physical pains, like my back is hurting, my wrist is hurting, that says a lot right in there. Or mentally, like, I get super stressed out, or I feel like I haven't been, like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. Which is weird, because if you're overperforming, you should feel like you're doing enough. But if I feel like I am not doing enough, I know I've been doing too much. Also, we finished a couple of these. 26. I think, when I say a couple, I mean like one. No, we finished 2. I'm waiting for it to come back around. That task list on the left is not just for show. I actually use that for the things that I've been working on. I just need to keeping up with it. Which is what I'm going to do right now. Thank you, Van Ver. Yeah, and you guys too can save 20% on Rogue Energy. It's really good when you mix it correctly. Did you know that? We finished 5. I think those are all the ones we've done so far. See all these things on the left? I've pasted all those on a to-do list now. I'm very happy. Well, all the ones that are commission related. And we're working on 24. So, and then I'll focus 24. There we go. Yeah, sorry again about that, Techno. Do something that is not required the same sort of creativity. If I'm writing, I might paint. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, for me, man. If I were to take a break, normally it's just doing more art, but working on my own personal projects, which is fine in and of itself as well. Oh crap, there's a Pokemon. But if I really need to break, because sometimes you really need to break if, like, especially if you want to physically be okay with your wrist and everything. What's another, I don't know if I have any other real hobbies or creative aspects. Like, if I've been drawing all day and I really need, I can't continue drawing, something I really love doing is organizing. I like to make the to-do list. I like filling out little journals and stuff. So, I can't call it writing, but kind of writing. Just like filling out the things that I've done today, filling out my habit tracker to make sure I'm doing my habits every day. Working out is something that I've actually gotten into a little more. Did I tell you guys? Okay, last month I weighed myself. I was 155. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so fat. This morning I weighed myself. First of all, I am not trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to be healthy, right? Because I'm super unhealthy right now. I weighed myself this morning. I was 150 pounds. I was like, yay! But I think I'm getting a little better. It's a lot easier for me to walk around without running out of breath. I can walk up the stairs without running out of breath easily. Or not easily, but like, I don't run out of breath super fast. I could do a lot more push-ups than I was able to before. Like, I've been doing push-ups the last two or 3 months, irregularly though, not every day. And because of that, I can do push-ups. I could do like 100 push-ups in a day. 100 push-ups in a day, not in one sitting, but 100 push-ups in a day. That's crazy to me because I used to be able to barely even do like 2 or 3. And then I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So that is insane to me. All in the span of like 3 months or so. May I suggest adding the powder to milk? I can't, man bear, because if I drink milk, not only do I diarrhea, I do have lactate milk, but I honestly do not like milk. I don't like the taste of milk. Probably because I haven't been really drinking milk, but hi, Oz. By the way, I saw you earlier, Oz, and I was being Bean, sorry. Hi, Oz. Nice to see you. But it is just something that doesn't use the same muscles. That's fair, Techno. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So yeah, I honestly, if I had to pick a thing that is really good to do, so maybe after stream I'll work out. I want to get back into Ring Fit, but I've been kind of too lazy to put together all the Ring Fit stuff that I need to. But I've been working out in general, like doing push-ups. I've been doing some sit-ups during my Persona streams. You guys are the cause of that. Thank you. I have a surprise for you guys. I'm trying to figure if I want to tell you guys now, because it's not gonna come for a few months. What is it, June? It's not even gonna ship out till the end of August. I'm sure you can already guess, but I think I might just leave it at that. I have a surprise for you guys. You guys are gonna love it. Oh my gosh, you're probably gonna love it. Not as much as me though, because I'm gonna love it more. But I am so excited. But because it's gonna take a long time, I will keep it at that. In fact, I'll spoil my mod team. If my mods want to know, if any of my mods are here and listen in, or Oz, who is actively here, I appreciate you, Oz. Hi, Alwyn. I'm gonna spoil you guys. Guys. Y'all. I got... Okay. Just wanted to spoil you. Okay. Okay, I spoiled my mods. If you want to know... Oz immediately replies, if you want to know, it's in the mod chat, but otherwise, the rest of everyone is gonna have to wait a little bit of time. At least until it ships, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, I've been doing some workouts lately. Really nice. I feel like I've been getting a lot better at things, and that makes me happy. Hi, Catafoys! Hi! I'm still catching up a little bit on chat. Yeah! Aw, Vanver. That's right. I lost 5 pounds in a week. Or no, in a month. In a week. I mean, that's not impossible either, but I don't know. I weigh 150 now. Which 150 has been my weight for the last, like, 5 years or so. So I don't know how else, like... I guess I don't have an ideal goal in terms of weight. I just want to be healthy. I just want to be able to do real, like, floor push-ups. Right now, if you guys don't know, I'm doing wall push-ups. So that, honestly, it sounds impressive that I could do 100 push-ups, but they're wall push-ups. They're not, I can't even do that many knee push-ups, but I have been told that I should try integrating into knee push-ups now. So I'm going to try doing some knee push-ups soon. Oh, I'm so scared. Thank you guys. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Wait, what do you mean your eyes? What happened? What happened? Plushie? Hi, Cat Duffles. How are you doing today? We're talking about improvement. We're talking about all the cool things that I've been improving, and if you guys have been improving stuff too, feel free to talk about it. I'm ready. I'm ready. I know Man Bear's doing some improvement, but that's in a more mental aspect, and I'm so proud of you, Man Bear. Honestly, I am so hella proud of you. I said it. They count. I know they count, but I'm like, I can't wait to do like push-ups on the floor. I don't have a lot of room on my floor. Granted, I did just clean it, so now there's a lot more room. But I want to do knee push-ups next. I want to get off the wall and do knee push-ups. Miriani, thank you. We got this. We got this. We got this. Whatever you guys are trying to aim for, I believe in all of us. You just got to break it down into steps that are manageable. Which is what I'm doing with all my projects, because holy crap, I have a lot of projects to do. But I am excited for it. I am excited nonetheless. Oh, I'm out of shape too, sadly, but I can do 20 push-ups with ease still. 20 push-ups on the floor? Like, without the knees? Holy crap. I can do one. I can do one. Here, you know what? I'll do it right now. I want to do one knee push-up. You know, I keep talking about it. F it. Even though you guys won't be able to see my tracking. Sorry. Let's do one knee push-up, bro. One knee push-up. All right, let's see if I can do it. Oh no, I lost my confidence immediately. I can't do it. Okay, hold on, let's try. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Bro, I did a knee push-up. And it wasn't impossible. I wasn't like dying. Oh. Holy crap. I know it's only one. It's so dumb. I'm sorry. I know it's only one, but but I didn't feel like I actually felt like I could do it without cheating and putting my butt in the air and stuff. I actually went down. It was a little awkward. I'd have to move my chair, so I did not move my chair, but I actually went all the way down with like the 90-degree elbows, bro. Wow! That's so cool. Sorry, I've never really been able to do that without like, you know, I'm kind of weak, guys. But we're getting there. It's one step at a time, or one push-up at a time in this case. Holy crap. Oh, kind of. I also have a steppies machine. I don't use it that much, but lately, what I've been doing is anytime I get the time to watch Netflix, if I watch Netflix, I'm using the steppies machine. Because I could just sit on the edge of my bed, watch Netflix while I'm like doing... It's like a cycle, like a miniature cycle, like a bike cycle. You know what I mean, the cycle machines. So I've been doing that lately. So you always spice it up, do push-up with your knuckles? Is that easier or harder? Because I don't know if I'm ready to go any harder. I could barely even do a knee push-up, but I was able to do it, is the best part. And I didn't feel like I was dying. Like I didn't crack everything in my shoulders. Harder? What do you mean obviously? That doesn't even sound like, I don't know, that doesn't sound like it's harder. It just sounds like you're using your knuckles. Why does it make it, wait, why does using your knuckles when doing push-ups harder than using your hands? Is it because it's less like space? I don't even know how it works. Why does it make it harder? All right, I'm gonna start setting up for working on this. I'm nervous to work on this because, again, this is a little out of my abilities right now, but the biggest thing is that we're trying. Always improving. Here, you guys want to take a sneaky peeky at it? Hold on, let's see if I can fix my background before we move over. Oh. Wait, no, my timer. Hold on, we'll figure this out. I'm spinning! I am spinning everywhere. Hold on, wait for it. There we go. That's right, we're partying today. No. Alright, let's move over to the art scene. Oh gosh, I hit the wrong button! No! Okay. Wait, did it not move? Oh. No. Art. Wait, sorry, my brain. There we go. There we go. Actually, there's one, can I do one small quality of life thing? My My Stream Deck allows it to set up when you hit a button, like when I move over to a different scene. Here, I'll play this so you guys can see what I was talking about. When you play a scene, or when you change a scene in the Stream Deck, it can automatically go back to a different thingo, like a different, what is it called? Profile? No, scene. Whatever it's called. You know what I mean. And I want to see if I can switch it to my toggle scene, which it currently is not. Let me see. So if how do I do this? It's like a small slice of life thing. And there's a way to do it, but I actually don't know. Oh, it's here. I found it. Toggles. So if I hit... Oh, what? If I hit the button, I want to test it real quick. It should go immediately to my art toggles. It did it! Yay! And that makes it a lot easier on me. That was like a very small slice of life thing I really wanted to do. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, wait, every time I switch my scene, then I have to click like 2 or 3 more buttons to get back to my toggles. Which my toggles are just like the pokey catch and changing like scenes from showing the art to showing my browser, right? I have to click like a couple buttons to get back to that, and that's not hard at all. But you know, if I can automate that, why not? You know, I'll take another drink. Too much talking, not enough drinking. Hi, Zero. You got a gazelle? Wait. That needs a home. Wait, a gazelle. What is a gazelle? Do you mean the deer? That's not a deer, but you know what I mean. The animal? Hi Zero, how are you doing today? Oh, wait, guess what I have? Oh my gosh, did you guys see Rorora? I'm not gonna say anything about it. I've been watching her and Cecilia. I don't normally watch YouTube streamers just because it's a different platform and I'm not used to it at all. But I've been checking them out lately. It's fun. Yeah. Oh. Higher pounds per square inch on your knuckles versus your entire hand. Oh, so it's like it feels like it's more weight, essentially. Think we're gonna judge, or just scared of new? Little guy? Wait. Judge what, Gray? Sorry, I was off on La La Land for a second there. So the cool thing about this scene, it looks really like bland. It kind of is. But the cool thing about this scene is the idea of it's going to be paired with this background. Crap. Once I find it. Oh, that's right. I learned some new stuff. I wonder if can I do it in Clip Studio? I mean, I can, theoretically. You guys want to see something I learned recently? Okay. So it's going to be paired with this background, which is not animated in Clip Studio. It's animated in DaVinci. But I have learned recently how to animate things in Clip Studio, like camera panning and stuff. Well, I haven't learned camera panning yet. I know how to do it fundamentally, but I don't know how to do it because I haven't ever done it. I need to do hands-on learning. I learned tweening. Oh my gosh, there we go. Tweening in DaVinci. So I want to show you guys. But to do so, I need to pull up my reference, which is what I edited in DaVinci. Not that I can't edit it in DaVinci, it's fine, but let's see. I did, Oz. I was in Cecilia and Aurora's debuts. They were both so creative. They're so creative. How long is this? This is 2 seconds long. 2 seconds, 24, 48 frames. There we go. Oh yeah. Backgrounds is all it needs to bring it light. Yeah, that's so. Where this spotlight is where they're gonna be kicking. So it's actually gonna take up a very small portion of the screen. I'm just drawing it big so everything can be seen. But it's gonna be in this small portion, so it's gonna be so small anyway. I gotta keep that in mind that it's gonna be small and not to sweat the small stuff. Literally. That's how it works. That's the name of the game. Alright, let's see if we can do this. You saw Gigi? She's chaotically fun, isn't she? Wasn't she was playing Crazy Taxi. She was playing Crazy Taxi the other day. I was like, wait, I love this game. Did they come out with the new Crazy Taxi, or was she playing the old one? I didn't get to see that, but I saw she was playing Crazy Taxi. Oh poop! I forgot there was a Pokemon. Okay, so this just got a bit broken up into 3 separate. So we have background 1, front. No, I'll say front, mid, and back. So then we have background. Background mid, and then background back. Behind, back, it doesn't matter. What is this one? Oh, this is like the background. I don't know what the proper name for these are. But check this out, okay.